What's up, everyone? It's Sam. Um, Coming at you from the basement again. I'll just call this like basement series part 3 at this point, I guess. But it actually might be the last of the basement series because I am moving out. That's right, folks. I found a job. I found a place. So I'm now that college graduate who gets to venture out on my own. Can't say that my parents aren't helping me a little, but it's really nice of them, and they know that I'm going to be forever thankful and all this shit for help with rent for a couple months. Because I think it's just what you gotta do. I gotta start my life, and I'm in a place right now where um, I can't. Um, it wouldn't matter if I was trans or not. Like, there's no job opportunities here. Like, nothing that I'm interested in here. I've gotta go. I gotta go to the city, and that's always been what I've been planning on doing. So, um, that is awesome. Real happy about that. Um, but yeah, so that was like a big part of what I wanted to say. I also landed an internship in something that I'm pretty interested in, so I'm excited about that. And um, yeah, basically, I just started working. It's really cool. I'm working in a kitchen of a restaurant. I just found out today that my boss is a lesbian, and I feel like that explains why she didn't look at me like I was fucking crazy when I applied to this job. Um, I have to do it under my legal name. I'm going by my legal name. Um, so, I'm not out at work, needless to say, but it's just really funny because so often I get looks from people. They're expecting Sarah to come in, and they're just like, "Excuse me." But no, my boss is totally cool. And I was working with this guy in the kitchen today, and he was just like, everyone left for a second. Like, I figured out that he was gay because he was just talking about a lot of stuff. So people left for a second. He's like, "Oh, you have a girlfriend right now?" And I was like, "Oh, no, not right now." And he's like, "Cool, you can come out clubbing with us." And I was like, "Who's us?" Um, I was like, "Are there a lot of gay people working here?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, there's like me, you, like our boss, like this other guy, this girl who's open to anything." And I was like, "Cool." I mean, it's not because, like, I don't want to be looked at as a lesbian. At the same time, people, like, for a long time didn't really think that I was a lesbian because my hair wasn't very short and I dressed, like, pretty girly. I mean, everyone who knew me knew I was. But it's really strange because I've always had this innate sense of just not being a lesbian, and almost this innate sense of like not straight I not straightness, but like heterosexuality. And I realize that sounds like a really controversial and like intense thing to say, that like I've always felt heterosexual, but like I have, and I think for a long time that's what led me to experiment with guys because they were like the opposite of me. um, I just always had this innate sense. So it always just makes me feel like pretty uncomfortable, like homo and like whatever, all this shit. But I think I mean, we're gonna see. Like, I need to figure out what to do with it. I don't think it's a good idea to come out about it right now, just personal reasons. So, my mom's like giving me some good advice on it. She's like, if they're not gonna just accept you for who you are, like right now, then you know what, like that's their own problem. And like, she was actually talking about job advice, and I was just because I was always so stressed out about how to interview and how to like present myself and everything, and like whether to tell them to call me Sam, which everyone in the non-professional realm like is starting to do pretty much. Except for my family, who I'm sure will take them a really long time, but we've had a lot of intense discussions about that already. But yeah, and I just kind of thought you're right, like I don't know, like so I'll walk around in the world and a lot of people are going to think I'm a masculine woman, like that is a thing that gets really tiring, and fucking trans guys, that's why they transition, because they can't deal with that, and it's going to be the same for me. But it's got to be a one day at a time thing. And I just started working and I'm just about to move out. So I just need to like get some like regular ass shit done, and then I can figure out how to proceed. And luckily, it seems like my job is like a really cool, open minded environment. So I'm sure that if it ever becomes apparent that the time is right, like, I'll just be able to. Or I'll be able to tell people as friends and like know that they won't fucking like somehow manage to like think of a way to like get me fired because like these are my fears and these are my paranoias. So yeah, um, work. I guess like work is on my mind because it's all I've done for the past like 2 or 3 days. But yeah, there's just a lot of bittersweet moments to this whole thing. I guess got in a really big crying fight with my sister the other day, but it ended up being really helpful and just like there's just like so much emotion. I don't know if anyone else experienced this, but I just like being fading. Um, I've been crying like a lot, and it really sucks. And like my family says that I walk around like really angry, kind of a lot. And it's true, I am angry, um, but it's hard to explain why, and it's hard to even for me to understand why. This is all why I do believe I need to go to therapy. Like I'm not going to therapy honestly right now to like attain a T letter. Like I'm going to therapy because like I clearly haven't like worked out all my shit. But I think that that's like okay, and I think that that's a good thing. And like it just fucking doesn't matter. Like there's a lot of bullshit to deal with, and like, but I mean, I just like think I'm a funny person. Like I thought of all these like names of like the memoir that I could just eventually write, like blood in my boxer shorts, an FTM like story, because that's exactly what happened to me fucking today. Thought my little monthly visitor was done, and then I realized, as we have a tendency to realize these things, that it wasn't. So I finally made it to the bathroom, and it had done its little thing where it comes back for like 10 minutes and stops. So I had fucking bloody boxer shorts, and I felt so not like a guy for the rest of that day. But they're in a wash now, and the wash is running,